It is now 11 o'clock. You are tuned into 91.9 FM WMEB Orno, Maine. You are entering the Mystery Hour.
Hello, everybody. Roy Michaels here. It's 11:02, and as always, I'm broadcasting to you live from the basement of the University of Maine. It's finals week here at the university. Let me tell you, it's been rough. It's been a hard time. But everything will be all right. Like they say, pain is temporary. But GPA lasts forever. Joining me tonight are my best friends, my mystery men. We have Joseph, self-proclaimed paranormal journalist. Connor, mystery hour tech guy.
Hi.
Dan Man, our unpaid intern, but he pulls his fair share.
I try.
Only speak when I ask you to. Sorry, know your place. And we have Keith who just showed up.
Hey guys.
Hey Keith, don't worry about it, man. Everything's fine for tonight on this epoch of the Mystery Hour. We have a bunch of special stories for you, and we're going to start with Dan Man and an encounter you had with a mythical creature in Ellsworth?
First of all, do I have permission to speak?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And it was in Belfast. Pretty close, though. So, this mythical beast, many of you may have heard of it. It's Jonathan Frakes, played Riker in Star Trek Next Generation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I used to work as a cashier in this grocery store. And, another boring day, customer after customer, buying Thanksgiving Day products. And someone said, "Hey, I just saw Jonathan Frakes a minute ago." I was like, "Wait, you didn't tell me?" And they said, "No, I didn't know you liked him." I stopped, I looked him dead in the eye, and I said, "Who doesn't like Jonathan Frakes?" And then, about 15 minutes later, I was scanning somebody's order in, and I hear, "If I were a turkey baster, where would I be?" And I look up, and standing beside me is the beast, the man himself, Jonathan Frakes.
Wow.
And And the person next to him goes, Jonathan, this is your biggest fan, Daniel. And then he looks at me and goes, hi, Daniel. Jonathan, nice to meet ya. Puts his big grizzly bear paw of a very soft, large hand in my hand and shakes it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but that isn't where it ends.
Oh.
He finds the turkey baster. He goes through another register. He walks across the entire front of the store while saying, hey, Daniel, next time I'm in here, don't ignore me. Red alert. And I lost. I was jumping up and down. I knew at that moment that was the highlight of my life. And it was just going straight downhill from there.
Yeah, talk about a cosmic plunge.
Yeah, definitely.
Your life's essentially like Lucifer's character arc from Paradise Lost, and the first act where he's banished from heaven.
Sure.
Have you seen him lately? Do you know what he's up to? Does he want to maybe come on the Mystery Hour, the first, only, and #1 late night paranormal talk show, right here on WMEB 91.9 FM, or no Maine College Radio in the class by itself?
Well, I had seen him a couple more times. I got him some porcini mushrooms. But, you know, I've actually been meaning to ask him because I know a person who talks to him regularly, and I could ask them to forward the message.
Is it his agent?
No.
Another coworker?
Yes.
Really?
Really. Real. Good friends. He gave her a hug.
A hug?
I wanted the hug.
Yeah. Connor.
Yeah, as you know, I'm a big fan of Star Trek and a big fan of Jonathan Frakes. And so I'm just going to throw out a few fun facts. He's originally from Pennsylvania, but he lives in Maine now, as you've heard from that past story. He also he taught fencing to my friend's friend of a friend, and he plays the trombone. And he won the Buckmaster Award in Pennsylvania in, I think, 2004. It's a contest where you shoot the biggest buck. Oh, okay. So, there you go. Back to you, Dan.
Now, when he shot that buck, do you think he had a phaser set to kill?
I feel like he would have had it set to stun because he's a very gentle creature.
Yeah, so he stuns it and then, yeah, you have to kill the buck to get the Buckmaster Award, right?
Do you have to kill the buck?
Can we confirm that?
Yes. Can you just wrangle it?
So, yeah, can you set your phaser to stun? You stun it, then you go on over, and you just hug it out. Hug it out of this existence. You know, nobody asked to be born, and I, quite frankly, think that consciousness was a misstep in human evolution. But let's move on to something else. Earlier we were trying to pick... yeah, that is for me, Joseph. Thank you. Earlier we were trying to select a topic for this evening, this show. The planning process has been altered a little bit by academics, but it's all right. Anyway, and we have a communication network when our telepathy fails, and it certainly does when we are stressed. Our cranial chakras have been filled with too much negative energy. But, yeah, you guys had a riveting conversation going on about cannibalism, and Joseph, do you want to sort of fill in the audience and kind of pick up where you left off?
I don't remember exactly where we left off, but basically, I don't think it should be illegal to eat another person.
Why? Is that just a purely libertarian point of view, or do your ethics go beyond that of law?
I feel like it's a waste. There's a bunch of meat there. If the person's I'm not saying you should go out and kill someone and then eat them. But if you find someone and they're dead, you should be able to have just like a nice man steak.
It's a waste of meat.
Exactly, it's a waste of meat.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any thoughts on this? Keith? You got in there.
Yeah, I don't know if I totally agree with it. It's kind of strange if you ask me that
I guess, would you be implying that you could just stumble upon a dead body, take your pick, and then report it to the police, or what is the process here?
Oh, I think obviously finders keepers is how that should go. And if like when you can you take that off my head, please? As soon as you find it, like go ahead, munch in, munch on, munch around.
Like straight chomp, teeth only, fork, knife. What are we talking?
Oh, I mean, you can like cut it up and like take it.
Well,
obviously,
you
share.
Personally, you
Me
yourself.
share. What I would do is I would take the flanks from the sides of the spine because I feel like it's the most tender meat, and that's probably the best part. And then I like give someone else the thighs, whatever other parts. I'm not a very good cook. Maybe the cheeks.
What sort
Face
of
cheeks.
what sort of seasoning would you use in preparing this meal?
Well, I'm just a classic kind of guy. I use just salt. I don't like too many flavors in my mouth at once. I also don't really like mixing peas with my mashed potatoes.
No.
I like to eat those one at a time.
So you won't eat your mashed potatoes and your peas at the same time, but you would commit a crime against nature by eating the corpse of your own species.
Listen,
Please note that the views and opinions expressed
Yes.
in this show are those of the DJ and do
Okay.
not reflect the opinions of WMEB.
I mean, where I
its staff,
fall on
or
it
the
is
University of Maine.
they're dead, and they don't care anymore. Yeah, I don't think it's wrong. Something can't be wrong if you're not hurting someone in some way. So I think if the family doesn't want you to eat them, then you shouldn't. You should respect their wishes. But if they're just some drifter, you find them just laying on the ground,
not even dead.
yeah, eat up. Do you have the CD, by the way?
Yeah, no, that's I covered that base. But what about the there's some sort of symptom? I think you mentioned this in the group chat, the telepathy line. If you eat meat, you sort of get the hunger.
Yeah, there's a disease called Kuru, and it really only exists in Papua New Guinea.
Which isn't a real place.
It's
you
in
can't say that.
Eastern
You're
Oceania.
making that up.
But basically, there were cannibal tribes that lived there, and they spread Kuru around. And what causes Kuru is mutated or warped prions in your brain, and prions are like proteins that your brain needs to function.
So I thought not like a type of alien.
No.
Okay.
Let me tell you why that's not a thing and why that's all made up.
Okay. Enlighten us, Joseph.
Don't you think it's weird that the only meat you get a disease from is the only meat that's unethical to eat?
Okay, that's not true.
Uh,
For one, mad cow disease,
Also made up.
salmonella.
Also, well, that's just from not cooking your chicken. I'm not saying you.
I know, but you didn't.
You
didn't
cook a
clarify.
human.
okay. Well. Okay.
You eat it.
Mad
you're
cow
fine.
disease still though is
Getting back to the
That's not-
ethics,
that's made up,
maybe
too.
I can find us some common ground that we can agree on. So when it comes to eating a human, factory farmed is definitely worse than a free range specimen.
Absolutely, and you always want grass fed.
I mean, I disagree. We're not going to find common ground on that because in our world with 7.5 billion people, if you want to eat other human beings, you need factory farming to sustain that amount of product.
There's not enough water. Okay.
I think we should just have a day. It's just a day of the week. We go out and we just eat as many people as possible. It's good population control.
I don't think that's a thing. I Roy Michaels want to be distanced from that statement my co-host just made.
That is why you are someone that would be eaten.
Oh, you think
Whereas,
so?
whereas I would be an eater.
He looks like a tasty morsel.
Yeah, you look a little,
right
a
now.
little midnight snack. After this show, I'm gonna eat your bones.
I saw him one time. He had a lot of suntan lotion on, and it looked like butter.
Hey, Mom, if you're listening tonight, I've been thinking about you a lot lately, and I'm sorry I haven't called, but I love you and I
gonna eat
miss
your
you.
mom?
No.
What?
Ooh.
Uh,
Is there a birthday? Why?
I don't know where to go from here. What was topic?
Let me
what
tell
was
you-
talking point number 3?
Number 3, bone boxes. It's a little box.
Someone's bailing me out of this host trip.
I've got a quick request. I have 2 finals, and they're exactly the same time, so I'm looking for a Connor double. So just call into the mystery hour. What's the number, Roy?
It's 207-581-2339. 207-581 beef.
All right, so you need to be about 6'1". You need to have black, curly hair. And you need to sound exactly like me and be exactly as smart as me. So call in. Thank you.
Yeah, Joseph, can you spitball for a little bit, please?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I can talk about bone boxes, but does anyone have anything else besides bone boxes? Because I can do that for 2 or 3 episodes. Connor?
Well, I noticed there are a lot of folded boxes out in the hallway. And I'm thinking maybe after the show we can make some kind of mystery hour fort.
Oh, mystery fort.
Mystery fort, yeah.
Mort.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Mort is for short.
Mortis?
What?
What?
What is Mort short for?
Mort is short for mystery fort.
I'm just making this a tongue twister.
Mort is short for mystery fort. It's
Yeah, the mystery hour. Mystery Hour single lands next Wednesday.
We can't promise that. It's not
The
next
Mystery
Wednesday.
Hour Fort. No, yep, I kind of got off track with that one. Voodoo.
All right.
That's the topic, right?
Yeah.
But first, it is 11:16, which means it is time for our first break. I'm Roy Michaels, and you are listening to the Mystery Hour on WMEB 91.9 FM, Orono, Maine. We'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Looking for music to wind down to before bed? Get comfy and listen to Layla's Licks every Tuesday from 8 to 10 p.m. on WMEB 91.9 Orono, Maine.
Hello and welcome back to the Mystery Hour. It is 11:18. I am Roy Michaels, and you are listening to WMEB 91.9 FM, Orono, Maine. For this second segment of the show, we are going to hit you with a classic Mystery Hour documentary. Joseph, tell them a little bit about this documentary and what we
It's
were.
about the witch's foot.
Yeah, and so this is a long time ago.
Yep.
Yeah, we were different people back then.
I was the same person.
All right, well, this is the famous Witch's Foot documentary, and you will hear the rest. You will know it all, and I will be back with you shortly at the half-hour mark.
John Buck was born in Woburn, Massachusetts in 1719. Shortly after, he moved with his father to Haverhill, Massachusetts, where he would become a surveyor and shipbuilder. Eventually, he was granted title to land in the Great Wild Northern Province, Maine. In 1762, he set sail with a fleet of 8 ships bearing 60 men and arrived at Township No. 1, the future site of Bucksport, and began construction. Old Buck was an industrious pioneer. It is no surprise that he grew tired of British rule. Despite the predominantly loyalist attitude among settlers in the region at the time, John Buck became a rebel. He was commissioned a colonel by the General Court of Massachusetts. By 1779, he had raised his own regiment and led them on an ill-fated siege of British Castine. Defeated by the British, Colonel Buck and his troops fled. However, they were pursued by a British vessel. Faced with perilous circumstances, Buck chose to save his family by leaving them in Brewer, while he returned to Haverhill, a distance of 200 miles, on foot. Once the Revolutionary War came to an end, Buck reunited with his family and returned to Township No. 1, where he began to rebuild what the Loyalists had destroyed. The port provided ample traffic, and the settlement began to grow. Settlers referred to the township as Buckstown until 1817, when the name was changed to Bucksport. Colonel Buck was well respected, serving as the pillar of the community bearing his name until his death in 1795. However, the perception of Buck began to change nearly half a century later in 1852, when his great-grandchildren erected a monument in his honor within the family graveyard. Shortly after construction on the monument was completed, a strange blemish resembling the socked foot of a woman mysteriously surfaced on the stone. The mark on Buck's tomb quickly became a source of intrigue, causing the imaginations of many to run wild. Macabre stories involving Buck and the mark on his tomb began circulating around Bucksport, and the townsfolk began to wonder if the founder of their community had harbored a dark secret. And the most popular story involves a beautiful young woman from the town named Ida Black. According to the legend, Buck and Ida had been having an affair. Although Buck had managed to keep it a secret for several months, his wife eventually discovered the indiscretion. Enraged, she threatened to tell the town's highest officials, effectively tarnishing her unfaithful husband's reputation. Although it had been quite some time since the era of witch-burning had passed in New England, an undertone of witchcraft hysteria still lingered within the public consciousness. Buck knew this, and saw his way out. He explained to his wife that he had been keeping a close eye on Ida Black because he had suspected her of witchcraft. However, Buck's lie escaped the confines of his marriage and grew into a pervasive rumor that spread throughout the town. This led to hysteria that resulted in the trial and conviction of Ida Black for witchcraft. She was to be burned at the stake. At the day of her execution, a crowd had gathered around the pyre, and Colonel Buck himself was in attendance. He could have spared her life, announcing that she was innocent and that he had lied. However, saving Ida would come at the expense of his reputation. Ultimately, Buck remained silent, watching as executioners fanned the flames that would claim the life of his former lover. As the fire began to sear her flesh and smoke began to flood her lungs, Ida gazed through the crowd at John Buck and expelled her last words in an agonizing shriek.
John Buck, you little rotten hell, and I would
After Ida had perished, it is said that her leg broke free from her charred body, landed on the ground with a sickening thud before rolling toward the crowd. It is no surprise that Buck's descendants would be dismayed that their ancestors' legacy as a pioneer and revolutionary should be outshadowed by something as absurd as a handful of ghost stories surrounding the flaw in his stone tomb. Several attempts have been made to scrub the foot from the stone, but it has always remained. The tomb itself has even been replaced twice, but the foot keeps coming back. Like any good ghost story, the legend of Colonel Buck's cursed tomb has drawn the scrutiny of skeptics.
That controversial monument in Bucksport, bearing an outline of a leg, which legend says appeared as the result of a witch's curse. Colonel Jonathan Buck, founder of the town, has been accused of burning a witch at the stake, but of course he did nothing of the kind. This stocking-shaped stain is merely an imperfection in the granite, and don't let the natives tell you otherwise.
It has been suggested that the witch's foot is merely a mineral deposit within the granite that had become prominent once exposed to the elements, oxygen, and time. Furthermore, holes have been poked in the legend itself. In the history of the Pine Tree State, no one has been put to death on charges of witchcraft. The afflicted tomb does not even sit on top of John Buck's grave. There are several bodies between him and the witch's foot. Regardless, the witch's foot on Colonel Buck's cursed tomb remains an enduring and captivating legend, a mystery never solved. Until now. Longtime listeners of the Mystery Hour may recall episode 4, Strange Maine, when we first explored Bucksport's famous cursed tomb and conjured a theory to crack the case.
So, I imagine that the curse will persist as long as the foot is missing. That's a really good idea. You return the foot, and then what's the curse? I imagine she's basically just created the keyhole, right? You get the foot and you put it on the foot in the grave, and it sucks it in.
With this revelation in mind, we began our quest to solve the mystery of Colonel Buck's cursed tomb by visiting the Eastern Maine Medical Center in Bangor to procure the foot of a cadaver to place upon the tomb.
Please leave.
How are we supposed to crack the case without the foot of a corpse? We couldn't have a drifter. No, that sounds like a lot of work. Guess we'll just have to call it quits, guys. It seems like some mysteries just aren't meant to be solved.
Wait, it might be possible for us to replicate the foot. I think that if we combine all of our data, historical foot records, her print on the grave, and average female foot size, we'll be able to extrapolate the exact dimensions of the foot.
I'm sending all relevant data to you now. Just input the data into a spatial reconstruction matrix. Know the process.
Okay, upload it to the mystery drive now.
Just need to extract.
Okay! Keith, quick, hit compile! On it. It isn't compiling fast enough. It's going to lose integrity. Just a few more seconds.
The power's out.
Generators are online.
Did we get it?
Yes, it's locked in. Keith, begin the 3D print. We got it.
Good job, boys. Let's solve this mystery. Alright, we're here. Let's move out. Keith, you're crowd control. Keep an eye out for any curious locals. Connor, you and I will deliver the payload to the objective. Do you have it? Right here.
You boys best not be messing around with no foot.
Out of our way, old timer.
It's getting awfully dark out here.
There's a fence. Roy, do you have the grappling hook?
Never leave home without it. Hey, listen. Whatever happens to us on the other side of the fence, I just want you to know that I'm sorry about making fun of your host capabilities back on episode 6. If anything should happen to me, my chair belongs to you. You are the Riker to my Picard. You are my number one.
Thank you, Roy.
Mother of God. It's
the people of Bucksport.
Come on, we gotta get over this fence now!
The wind's too strong. I'm losing my grip.
Grab my hips!
I'm bringing the foot into position.
Come on, come on, come on!
Requesting permission to make contact with the gravestone.
Bring it home!
Almost there.
Steady, steady.
Here we go.
What is happening? Ah! Oh my God, what is happening?
I told you not to be messing with no foot.
Oh my God!
Oh, that was a fun memory, you guys. Welcome back. Hey, we're back on air over there.
He always does that.
We're back from our adventure. It is 11:33. You are listening to the Mystery Hour on WMB 91.9 FM, Orono, Maine, and that was our investigation. That was a time when we solved the case of Colonel Buck's cursed tomb in Bucksport, and it's clear that it being the only national monument in the area. I can't make that joke. I feel like all the Fort Knox ghost hunters would come get me. But yeah, it's definitely the source of economic lifeblood in the town. And when we went to go place a foot on the stone, we realized that they couldn't have us. We couldn't do that. We couldn't ruin the curse, and that's why you heard the mob at the end. It was really quite a thing. But I do believe, Keith, you have something you want to just throw out quickly, sort of an important PSA, if you will.
Yeah, I don't know entirely if it's a PSA so much as like a topic that we could possibly, spitball about. So parasites. Parasites are not paranormal, but they're pretty spooky stuff. You guys would agree, worms and all that. What about paranormal parasites? At what level does it become a threat to your lifestyle?
Now, can I ask a question? Do you mean like ghosts with worms, or do you mean like just any?
Maybe it's a worm that has
worms?
transcended to the afterlife and now it is in your colon. I don't know. How do we interpret this? I'm just throwing it out there. Surely there are paranormal parasites.
Am I a ghost too? Is it, or?
You're a human at this point in time.
Okay, so my bowels are haunted by a ghost parasite.
Exactly.
Okay, that's horrifying.
I know, right?
Yeah.
What do you think they would do? How do you think it happens? How do you think paranormal parasites come to be?
Well, in the final episode of the first season of Star Trek The Next Generation, there are parasites, and they're not ghosts, but they're as sneaky as ghosts. And they go inside their necks, and they control Starfleet from the inside out, and they almost win. So,
what happens?
They stop them. They pretend to be infected with the parasites, but they're not.
Ooh.
Yep, back to you.
That's actually really interesting. I looked it up online while you were talking about that, and I promised I was still listening. But I searched, how do I tell if I'm infected with a paranormal parasite? And someone very bright on the internet has said, how do I verify I have a paranormal parasite? On your own muscle, try testing. Make sure you are hydrated. Stand facing north with arms to the side and state the following. A paranormal parasite is attached to my energy body. If you sway forward, the answer is yes. If you sway backwards, the answer is no. Check your chakras and the consciousness in the same manner.
Okay, I'm going to try this out. Can you guide me?
Yeah,
I'm going to stand up.
Stand up.
Okay, so.
All right, you're hydrated, right? This is important.
8 glasses of water.
All right, too hydrated. Go to the bathroom first. Come back 1 second.
Done.
Okay, perfect. Now,
What, right here?
yeah, don't worry about it. Stand facing north. We got to find out what's north.
That way.
That's
I
tough.
trust you. It's your funeral,
You gotta
buddy.
turn around, buddy.
All right.
Oh, okay, there you go. Now you're north. I promise. All right. Now, state the following. A paranormal parasite is attached to my energy body.
A paranormal parasite is attached to my energy body.
He's doing it. I can't believe it. The madman. All right. Now, did you sway?
I'm swaying way forward.
Oh my! Whoa, forward. The answer is yes. You do have a paranormal parasite.
How do we get him out of him?
I don't know. The guy hasn't posted since. It's been 2 years. Should we contact him?
So
He's got him.
He's probably dead.
Yeah, maybe it didn't work.
He swayed so far forward, he went backward and died.
Yeah, I just want to say that when you comb through posts on paranormal and conspiracy forums, one way to tell how valid the information in the post is by checking the published date, and usually, more relevant posts, like published more recently, are accurate. That's what we've been taught in school while making our MLA papers. But in the paranormal and conspiracy community, if a user made a post and then disappeared for years after, that's usually a telltale sign that it's a great post, because leaking the information got them killed by some sort of shadow organization.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. That sounds right.
But what are the implications of having a paranormal parasite?
I think they haunt your parasites.
Okay, so that's a good scenario to play out. You've got like a top 7, infectious parasite. I don't have the list on me right now, but I'm sure it exists. You could probably find it out. We'll say I don't actually know, some sort of worm. It's in your belly and it's alive. You're alive too. You cross into a graveyard. It's midnight and you feel a dark energy. You wake up in the morning and your stomach just feels terrible. You've been infected with a haunted parasite. So now you've got ghostly energy inside of your colon that exists in the form of a worm. What do you do with it? Do you go over the counter? Do you call a doctor? Where do you go from here?
I think you have to call a ghost doctor to get ghost prescriptions for your ghost medicines.
That's true, but what if you don't have great ghost health insurance? What if you're someone like Roy Michaels, who is just sick for a week, treating plague with over-the-counter medication because his medical bills are too expensive? He's not insured properly.
Isn't this how Breaking Bad starts?
What are you trying to say?
You should cook ghost meth and sell it to ghost meth heads.
Don't do that.
I don't even know where I would begin.
The afterlife.
Oh.
Just so everyone knows, ghost meth is actually made up of mashed turnips, so it is completely legal, and it's not the same as a normal drug.
It's exactly the same as real meth, except it transcends the...
Transcends?
Yeah, it's very zenful. And you can give it to ghosts. You can take it yourself, probably. I don't know.
This is a great bit. I like what you're doing.
As far as what Keith said about the symptoms of having a ghost parasite or a paranormal parasite, we now know that I have one. So maybe I can tell you the symptoms live. Yeah. All right, I'm feeling depressed. I feel like I don't matter. I feel anxious. I feel tired. I don't look so good. I don't get a lot of sleep. So those are the symptoms to look out for.
That's terrifying. I might have had one this entire time.
I have big black blotches under my eyes, and I've had those 24/7 since I was about 6 years old.
Oh, so it's been a long time.
Yeah.
You probably should have had this checked up a while ago.
So I've either got a paranormal parasite or I'm turning into a raccoon.
Okay, so is it an insurance problem for you? Is that why you haven't been there?
I don't think insurance covers it, and that's just indicative of how science has taken over the medical world.
What if you take your insurance to the graveyard and try to get it inspirited by the same negative energy that got your tapeworm?
I did not think about that.
Could you convert your insurance to ghost insurance by getting it haunted?
I think I could, but once you convert it, you can't convert it back.
You can't go back. It's a one-time deal.
You can go from mortal to ghost, but not ghost to mortal.
Yeah, you got to do like a bunch of side quests to go back on that one. It's a lot of effort.
You do. You need 5 black soul gems.
Yeah, and there's only 3 in the first. You got to do New Game Plus twice. It's ridiculous.
I think I'm probably gonna have to steal some from the Mages Guild.
Yeah,
and
good luck with that, buddy.
You can also use Azura's Black Star.
Really?
Yeah.
5 of them?
No.
Or you're saying it's worth 5? Ah.
As one of the 5.
So you're saying I'm gonna have to like fight a Daedra for that.
That's fine.
What? Okay. What are you guys? What are you talking about?
Now, could you go to a graveyard and then just wait at a tombstone that says doctor on it, and maybe he'll help out?
That actually is a good idea. I've never thought of summoning, maybe evoking the spirit of a doctor for a medical consultation.
Do you want me to tell you how to do it?
Yeah.
You just go to there, and first you gotta go to there.
You gotta
their grave.
You gotta go there, man.
Yeah, but first you've got to go to their secretary's grave. So their secretary has to be dead too.
So,
and then you gotta make a dead appointment. And then
whatever you learn at the doctor's grave, you have to go back and leave on the secretary's grave.
Yep. And then they'll, call you to the spirit realm.
Yeah, and when do we get the pharmacist involved?
That's not till 3 more doctor visits later.
Doctors save a lot of people, but sometimes they can't save themselves.
Yeah, that's why the doctor was dead.
Anyway, it is 11:43. You are listening to the Mystery Hour on WMB 91.9 FM, Orono, Maine. I'm Roy Michaels. We are going to our second break, and then we will be back blasting off into who knows.
You need to get a second job as a stuntman to save money.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need feedthepig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Mystery Hour. It is 11:44. I'm Roy Michaels, and you are listening to WMEB 91.9 FM, Orono, Maine. Say it all uninterrupted.
Okay, so when I when I go to the doctor, I have to wait in the waiting room for about 10,000 eons, and then I have to wait in the doctor's what do you call it? Room?
A waiting room.
Well, no, after the waiting room. What do you call that?
Oh, yeah. What is that?
I don't know. It's a little room with a little
What
bed with the paper on
is
it.
that?
Yeah, call us. Tell us what that room
Call
is.
us at 207-581-2339. What is it?
Anyway, you wait in there for about another 10,000 years.
The Purgatorium.
So, how much longer is it if you're seeing a ghost doctor? It's got to be a long time, right?
I think you stay in there until you die. I'm sorry, Joseph. Was that the comment you were going to make?
Yep.
Okay. Dan?
I have a different opinion. You know, I would think if it takes so long for a living doctor to get to you, a ghost doctor would be quicker. He can float right through those walls, so he doesn't have to walk out the doorway, then walk around the corner and go to your room. He just floats right through that wall. That probably saves 1 or 2 eons.
Yeah, and there's less red tape holding him back. As we know, bureaucracy is an invention that affects mortal people.
But what about the ghost nurse that always comes in first, check your blood pressure and all your vitals, pretty much? Do we have to wait for her?
Nurses are in the undead world, based on what I've seen in the film Beetlejuice by Tim Burton. The nurses, the RNs, are usually ghouls and not, in fact, specters themselves.
Now what about ghost PAs?
PAs, that's something you
Physician
use
assistant.
microphone? I have no idea.
Pennsylvania?
Physician assistant.
The afterlife is it timeless? So maybe it's all instantaneous.
Yeah.
Or maybe it all takes forever. It never happens.
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay.
Is universal health care a human right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Keith, you're above me like a hawk. You got something to say?
Oh, that's not a hawk noise. Okay. So regarding the ghost doctors, I can't get off of this topic here. No, not that. So Dan mentioned that you could walk through the walls. I think you could probably save a lot of time like that. You could set up a ghost hospital, right? But I was thinking the regulations would probably be way worse. Like, if there's no human life on the line, they're probably way worse at their jobs. Like, they probably have to pass worse exams, and they have to pass worse certification. And so you can finally get there with your ghost insurance, but you might not even, like, get out of there. Or maybe you'll double die.
They took a vow to heal the sick in life, correct?
Yes, it only goes to life.
Oh, so that's not what's holding them?
No,
To-
they're just
to
there
our
because
world?
they want to be, I suppose.
Oh, I think you got a good point. I think Roy has something to say.
Well, I was going to say that, yeah, the life clause is a very specific aspect of the Hippocratic Oath, as it is of all oaths for positions here on Earth, because otherwise you just create a curse that binds souls to our plane, preventing them from passing over into the spirit realm. Never, sign on to an unclosed contract. You don't want to be duty-bound in this life and the next.
So what you're saying is ghost doctors are probably more whimsical with their patients?
Yeah, they're like Patch Adams, by Robin Williams.
By Robin Williams.
I believe so.
What about a ghost surgeon? He'd get in there without cutting you up and fix whatever's wrong. And you're out of there in like an hour.
So are you implying a ghost surgeon for a human life?
Yes.
Like, so they can go through us without, injuring us, it would just be a ghost. So they've got like a dead doctor on hire.
Yes, like you don't even have to go into the surgery room. You walk in the front doors and they just float through you and take whatever you need out.
Yeah, they just like
Or
scoop
put
out the
in.
tumors and
Yeah.
they're gone. It sounds genius, really. You should probably get on that.
I will. Let me get my surgical degree.
Yeah.
And then let me paint the ceiling with my brain.
Can you say that?
You can say
I don't know if you can say that.
What?
Okay, so you'll die of natural causes, and then you'll enter the spirit realm and become the hero that we need.
Yeah.
So, like, we'll put all those lasers out of jobs. We won't need surgery lasers. We'll just have Joseph.
I mean, we should probably keep the lasers just
No,
because
okay,
lasers
well,
are cool.
ghost
but-
lasers. We'll
yeah.
call it ghost lasers.
Yeah, ectoplasma cannons. I do believe, though, we have a story collected by our unpaid intern, Dan, man, it's sort of like a weekly book project we have him do to keep him busy. He goes out in the streets while we live the high life, and he collects the actual articles of substance for use here on the show. So, Dan, man, what do you have? And could someone please put Joseph on timeout?
Okay, story time with Dan. Do we have a special title for my story time? Like Dan's story time corner?
Dan, man, the
I'll
Dan
take it.
Jam.
Yeah, the Dan Jam. Okay. So, when I was walking around the woods looking for good stories, I was deep in the woods, surrounded by lots of trees and snow, no leaves. And, I'm waltzing through these woods, and I look over on a rock, and there's this strange, perfectly round, it's like a little fruit. It was red with white spots all over it, and it was sitting right on top of the stone as though someone had placed it there for me, with no explanation. There's no trees around, so it couldn't have fallen down. It had to have been brought there. But how? Does anyone know how?
I like to imagine that some sort of animal found it in the winter when food was scarce, and saw this thing and realized that it was very lucky to find it, and it became its most valuable possession, and it placed it upon that stump like we would a trophy on a shelf.
Oh, I did take it.
You took
and
it.
I was pretty curious about it, so I also mushed it to see what was inside.
You mushed it?
Yes, I'm so sorry, animal, that kept that. Well, inside it just looked like fruit goop, because I gooped it pretty good when I stomped it.
Yeah, you gave it a good gooping, huh?
Yes, sir.
Did you taste it, though?
I didn't, because I was afraid it would be poisonous.
Yeah, a good rule of thumb, don't eat many things you find in the woods unless you have a proper field guide.
Yeah, learned that one the hard way.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I ate all kinds of bugs when I was small. Lots of them.
Most of us have.
I ate some this week, too.
Yeah, you know ants on a log?
Oh, yeah.
Peanut butter, celery, and raisins?
No, I've never had that.
Yeah, no, neither have I. I just ate ants on the log.
Me too.
Keith, I think you had something to say?
Yeah, so do you think there was a ghost worm inside that apple? Or, that fruit or whatever it's called?
It could be, because now that I think of it, I don't think an animal could have placed it there, because it was completely undamaged, and since I was able to smush it real good, it wasn't frozen either, despite being out in a frozen, snowy day. So maybe, a spooky ghost put it there with a parasite in hopes it would lure in an animal and be able to possess that animal and have a body again. I'm glad I didn't eat that.
It's also entirely possible that a larger entity lowered itself in size to that of an apple just so you would chomp on it and it could infest you. It can't enter you unless it enters physically. And, through the means of eating a delicious fruit that you find, that's how you get it done. That's how they trick you.
Yeah, good thing I didn't eat that fruit.
It would pretty much turn you into a some sort of possessory Gundam, and Gundam, for those of you who do not know, is pretty much a giant robot exoskeleton mech type suit where a normal-sized human gets into it, but is then suddenly big enough to fight Godzilla or another monster.
Have you ever seen Zoids?
I have seen Zoids.
Yeah, it's better.
Really? You were a Zoids guy?
Yeah, I'm a Zoids man.
Wait, what do you like Bakugan? Over
No. My little brother, he's 10 years younger than me. When he was, I think, 8, he decided he liked Bakugan more than Pokemon. And I did not allow that. I pretty much just, yelled at him until he hated Bakugan. And it worked.
It's important to let him have room to grow himself as his own person, but, it in the end, it is probably good that you put that that constraint on him.
Well, it's the responsibility of an older brother to keep, your little brother away from dangers like that.
You got to start the Bakugan Shame Yun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, and Yokai Watch now. Sorry, Keith. Keith loves it.
I don't love it.
He loves it.
Pretty good.
Roy, you're pointing at me. What do you want me to say?
No, I wasn't pointing at you. Who let you out?
Nope.
Okay.
No, I got nothing.
Well,
Beetleborgs.
It is,
Is Zordy.
Beetleborgs.
Yeah.
This is...
I was trying to think of a name when you were saying Zoids.
Currently we are broadcasting to our audience from a basement, and judging by the content of this last 5 minutes, I sure hope they are also in the basement so they understand these sick children's anime references.
Oh, Beetleborgs wasn't an anime.
Yeah, but Beetleborgs was not tight.
It was so tight, man. Just like their exoskeletons.
That's true. Yeah. Like a
Bionicles? Huh?
Are we just naming?
I didn't like the show Bionicles, but I did like playing with Bionicles.
I had a light bright when I was a kid. My parents got it for me, and I used to spell my name. I used to spell out dinosaurs. I used to send messages to Roy. I love you. Spell that out, put it out my window.
Did you say you spelled out dinosaurs? You didn't like.
I loved to spell as a kid.
You didn't.
I was a master of spelling. 8 years old, I was spelling, words like aristocratic, other words.
Oh man, you sound really smart.
I'm intelligently.
Yeah. So what do you guys want for Christmas?
Dan.
Well, I actually had a question about that. Namely, we should have a gift swap on air for a Christmas episode.
Yeah, but we should also get our viewers involved somehow. I don't.
Viewers, send us in presents, please.
No, we need to send them presents. Give us your addresses.
Or
on Facebook.com/Midnight Mystery Hour.
Instead of giving them presents, we gift them with our presence on their radio. That way we can send our presents everywhere.
And, depending on your perspective, the absence of it could be a present as well. But anyway, it is 11:58, which means this hour of the mystery has come to a close. I'm Roy Michaels, and you just listened to WMB 91.9 FM, Orono, Maine. Up next is Robo DJ, who's going to be keeping the party going all night long. And of course, I did my outro backwards, so I'm going to go to the thank yous now. I'd like to thank Jimmy Ozog for composing several original tracks for use here on the Mystery Hour, many of which you heard tonight. The wonderful people at WMEB for making this show possible and helping us grow along the way. And of course, you, the listener, for staying up late next to your radio. Again, I'm Ryan Michaels. You listen to the Mystery Hour on WMEB 91.9 FM, Orono, Maine. It's 11:59. We'll see you next week, potentially. And here's something you might have heard.
You'll be